AITA for saying, "I don't want kids, I want money," at the dinner table and offending my sister? My sister has a 5-month-old baby. Her and her boyfriend are not struggling financially, but their standard of living has very much decreased since giving birth. They can afford the necessities, but they can't go on vacation, can't go out to eat, and can't afford a babysitter. They also just moved into a cheaper apartment. My mom has been asking my sister and the baby to move in with her so they can save money. My sister said no. For more context, my sister's boyfriend makes a little less than minimum wage. He only works part-time at a restaurant to focus on creating his music. When my sister announced they were trying for a baby, my mom was really worried, and she's still worried, about their financial situation. My sister is the primary income source for their household, and my mom has been giving them some money every month. I make a little more than my sister, but I don't have kids. So last night, all of us came together for dinner. My sister kept asking me when I'm going to have kids, and I said I don't plan on having kids. She said I'll change my mind. I'm almost 30. I said I probably won't, and she kept pressing me on why. I finally just said, I don't want kids. I want money, and she got really quiet. When the dinner was over, she left a voicemail to my mom crying about how I attacked her, and my mom is mad at me. My mom wants me to apologize to my sister. To be clear, I do think my sister is in a nightmare situation, but I would have said I wanted money even if she didn't have a baby. I've always thought I'm not meant for parenthood, and I'd rather just be the cool, fun aunt that travels a lot and buys big presents for my nieces, nephews. I didn't mean to insult her, and I've never once commented on her financials or relationship because it's not my place. AITA. And should I apologize? NTA. This is one of those things where context matters. If you were sitting at dinner and just randomly blurted out, "I don't want kids, I want money," that would be an thing to say to your sister. But when she starts asking when you're gonna have kids, and especially when she refused to drop it, she's asking for a response like this. She asked. You answered. She didn't like your answer? That's on her for pressing you for one in the first place. You didn't attack her. You pissed her off by being honest. And that's not your fault at all. NTA. And I don't think you owe her an apology. But a conversation is a good idea. It sounds like she's actually pretty upset herself about her finances, and your response touched a nerve. Maybe start with something like, "Hey, it wasn't my intention to offend you in any way, and I'm honestly confused as to why this upset you so much. I gave you my honest answer after being pressured, and I can't help feeling like maybe this is really about something else." NTA. She shouldn't have kept pushing you about having a baby once you had answered her. I hate it when people repeatedly force a question until you give them the answer they want. You don't have to justify not wanting kids to her. NTA. Kids are expensive. You stated a fact. I have two. I'd rather have them than money. But I understand other people have different priorities. But I think your sister's question was obnoxious. It's wrong to ask someone when they're going to have a baby. Some people don't want children. Others struggle with infertility. Some people want to be married first, but the fact is that nothing could be less anyone else's business than another person's family planning. NTA. Still reliant on mommy for money. Throwing tantrums and crying to mommy over nothing? So very mature enough to raise a child. Good luck to that child. Yikes. Hopefully she's not usually like this. She said I'll change my mind. The only parents who say this seem to be the ones who have some regrets. Nothing wrong with wanting money and not kids. NTA. You were pressed and gave an honest answer about your preferred lifestyle. You did nothing wrong. Your sister did by pressing the question and then not liking the truthful answer. NTA. Don't ask questions you don't want, answers you don't like to. Also, the whole gross pressuring to have kids thing is rude and obnoxious and frankly people doing it should expect pushback, and for the person they're doing it to not to be very nice about it. It's a personal decision that someone else doesn't get to decide for you. He makes less than minimum wage because he works part-time to focus on his music? WTH? It's one thing if she just has a really great job that pays wonderfully and they were not struggling at all, but they have a baby on the way and are having to cut back and get a cheaper place, and her mother is having to give them money. The father needs to man up and get his ass to work and support his family. As it stands, he needs to be the house husband in a serious way. Also NTA. Your sister would not drop the subject after pressing several times. Also, your comment was not about her but because of her reaction. The subject of many and the baby is heavy on her mind. People have said I would want a child someday also. I am mid-40s and still have no desire at all. If people talk about it, I traumatize them with stories about my brother from when he was a child. That will cure them of any thoughts of having a child and they leave me alone. Works every time. I have even told my brother that he has cured me of ever wanting one and then reminded him about different times he has done stuff. Your sister is presumptuous enough to ask when you're having kids. Disregard your response and tell you that you'll change your mind. Continue pressing the topic. Get all up in her feelings about your honesty. And then have the audacity to behave as though she was the attacked one in this situation. You were much nicer to her than I would have been to a family member who made this much an issue of it with me. NTA. Not even a little bit. Also, it sounds like her and her boyfriend are struggling financially. People who are not struggling financially generally don't need monthly assistance from a family member. They might be affording necessities now, but one missed paycheck for either and they're screwed. NTA. She asked. You answered. If she didn't want to hear the answer, she shouldn't have asked. NTA. As a 30-something who has never wanted kids, and a woman, which makes it worse, I get so tired of "you'll change your mind." Anyone who is pushing you on this deserves a snarky response. NTA. You told the truth and she couldn't handle it. She chose to press you on a personal topic instead of leaving well enough alone. That's her problem. Do not apologize. What would you even be apologizing for? Sorry, I am prioritizing financial security? No. Stand firm on your beliefs. The thing is, you have years to change your mind and decide to have kids. Adoption is always available, but there is not an undo button on bringing life into the world. It is infinitely better to err on the side of not wanting kids than to resent your children all their lives. If they can't afford a babysitter on a regular basis and can't afford to go out to eat, then how are they not financially struggling? NTA. She asked you a question about you and you provided her with an answer that was about you. If you didn't make any statement about her personally, she has no right to be offended or even to take office. You don't owe any apology to your sister for honestly answering a question she asked you about you. In fact, your sister seems to be a bit spoiled and is overly emotional regarding something that isn't about her. Advise your mom of this and tell her it's your sister who owes you an apology for continuously harassing you about your personal life and then whining to mom because she didn't like the answer. I have kids and don't blame others who have decided not to have children. It's not for everyone. And yes, kids are expensive and do drain the finances. Personally, I think anyone who plans on falling pregnant without proper finances is crazy. INTA. Your sister can freak off. Kids are wonderful when you want them. However, there are sacrifices, like finances. Your sister needs to back off. Asking about kids is not an appropriate response. She is lucky your mom is helping financially. NTA, I hate this so much. The only time I've ever felt bad about not wanting kids is when others made me feel bad about not feeling bad about not wanting them. Your sister made the decisions she did, and we hope they bring her joy. You are making the decisions that will bring you joy. She can be emotional now. She seems to be facing an increasing amount of instability with a partner that isn't prioritizing her and the child. That sucks. But she also seems to have had indicators that would happen. NTA. She should have accepted your position instead of continuing to push it. And you're not wrong. Kids are expensive as hell. I say this as the mother of 2 teens. NTA. I guess I can see how she thought you were implying something, but she did ask. NTA, and I think I've said nearly the same thing myself. Grin, your sister was being rude, not dropping the subject. You merely gave her a definitive answer that stopped the line of questioning. Woman shrugging.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.